Diablo 4's best season yet. Every season, best season, Diablo 4. All right, it's step in the right direction. Here we fucking go. Okay, I am actually legitimately curious about this because I have not played Diablo 4's season. I didn't play last season, and I don't think I played the one before that. So I have zero idea where they're at.
Has Diablo 4 finally entered its golden era? Season 10 might be the best yet, with the community basically asking to make everything in it permanent. Also this week, we got the surprise reveal of the next Borderlands 4 Vault Hunter, a $55 billion EA acquisition that could reshape the industry. And Xbox just hiked Game Pass prices to a point where buying games might be cheaper. Plus, the last Epoch devs have finally broken their silence on the expansion, and it's grim news. No, not Grim Dawn. We're still waiting for news on the Grim Dawn expansion. We'll cover all that and more in this video. Hey folks, this is Riker, and I dig into ARPG and gaming news so that you can spend more time playing games. Chapters below to skip ahead to different topics. But before we move on, a word from this video's sponsor, Boot.dev. Boot.dev has gamified learning to code by literally building an online programming course.
It's kind of a cool one.
Programming RPG. You complete quests, you gain XP, you level up, you earn achievements, and you can rank on.
Dude, I always wanted to learn to do programming, so I went to college because I wanted. Well, actually, what it really was is I liked computers, and I thought I'm gonna go to college for computers. So I went to college for computers, and I learned like I actually hate programming, and liking computers and programming does not they do not have anything to do with each other, and it's basically the equivalent of being a spreadsheet simulator. Look, when I was learning MySQL for databases, and then I'm like going to play RuneScape after I'm done with my workload for the day, I was like, these are not the same thing at all, and I fucking hate this. And also, I went to school for Java, and then 2 years in, they swapped the whole program they offered from Java to C++, apparently back to Java now, by the way. And like some of my credits were invalidated and all that, and I had to start over. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this, and I quit college, basically.
Global leaderboard, all while learning fully at your own pace. Boot.dev believes that the smartest way to learn to code is to ensure you're never bored. With this program, you'll learn the programming languages Python and Go. You'll learn back-end web development from start to finish, and it's designed to get you to write a ton of code, since they believe practice is the only.
One cool thing though was learning Visual Basic was actually cool because you actually feel like you were making a real program. I made a game called Rats or Dragons. It was just a little like you actually made it with my buddy Daniel, where we had to make a project. And so we made this game called Rats or Dragons, and basically the whole idea was like you're walking in grass or something, and then two things could either happen. You could either have like a battle would start like Pokemon style, and you could either have a literal rat, which would show up, which is like 1 HP rat, you just one shot, or you'd have a dragon that's like maxed out level, and he would just one shot you. So it's like, how many rats can you kill before the dragon kills you?
Only way to really learn coding. I took a programming course back in college, and it was so boring. They had us programming like grocery lists and tax calculations. In Boot.dev, we're doing fun stuff from lesson 1 by framing it around building a video game. Here's my dashboard. I'm level 9, working on chapter 5. Let's quickly do this assignment together. It wants us to complete this total XP function, and it's telling us that the total XP should be a function of whatever XP is being added plus our level times 100, because there's 100 XP per level. So let's try total XP equals level times 100 plus XP to add, and return total XP.
Flashback to me in PTSD, dude.
That's looking correct. Let's try submitting, and hooray. And if at any time I'd find myself struggling, I can always consult with Boot.
Or you can vibe code a game on ChatGPT and make some dog shit.
An AI bear wizard that's been trained in every lesson. He won't just give you answers, he'll help you grasp the concepts so you can find the solution yourself. But solutions are also available for every challenge if you just want to see the code that the instructor wrote. So click the link in the description box and use code Riker to get 25% off your entire first year of an annual plan of Boot.dev.
Why the deal?
Starting off with Diablo news. We're more than a week into season 10, and the verdict still seems to be that it's one of the best seasons yet. Some say it is the best season ever. Some say it's the best season since season 4, Loot Reborn. Build diversity is in a great place. The season is also full of fun, surprising moments like a Goblin Pack Chaos Wave, or a Mythic Chaos Rift with a guaranteed Mythic drop, or getting Chaos Armor from...
Okay, like, I'm really trying here. We're 3 minutes into the video. I'm not trying to, like, start some shit already, but literally the background footage is the same thing I've been doing since first second of the game. You log in, you stand in the middle, and mobs just run at you, and you sit there and you just attack them. It's circle killing simulator.
Gambling, or Bartuk very rarely dropping like all the Chaos Armors at once. I see a lot of love in the community for Chaos Armor in general. They serve as great chase items. I see a lot of people wanting it to stick around for future seasons. Redditor Cultural Ninja 6 actually had a cool idea of a way to keep Chaos Armor in a less OP form. Add a super rare drop in the game, a consumable item, let's call it a Chaos Orb. You consume a Chaos Orb on a unique item that destroys the unique item and turns it into a Chaos Aspect. Then you can apply that Chaos Aspect to a piece of legendary armor, like a helm, and it transforms that helm into Chaos Armor with the extracted unique aspect. And you're limited to only being able to equip one piece of Chaos Armor for balance purposes. And it's not just Chaos Armor that people want to keep around. This season I'm seeing more calls to permanently keep stuff than ever before.
Okay, honestly, the gameplay of just like one-shotting mobs is like core concept of all ARPGs. Like, I get it. Like, you're just sitting there smashing mobs. If the game visually looked better and wasn't... They have like this like pseudo filter or something over it where it's just everything's always kind of like monochromatic. It's either all purple in your purple or all red in a red area. And it looks washed out. And like, it's for a somewhat recent game, after you play fucking PoE 2, it is so hard to visually look at these other ARPGs. Even PoE 1, bro. Like, going back to other ARPGs is so hard. After seeing the visuals of PoE 2, it's like, oh, fuck, color and depths and shadows, and like, it actually looks good. It is really hard to go back.
Chaos Rifts are fantastic additions.
You're talking about PoE 2 instilled maps? True. 100% agree. The instilled map, that's part of the reason the instilled map, like Delirium Fog, is actually dog shit, because the game is visually really good looking, but then they put this fog over it and just ruin it. Completely agree.
Should also be permanent. Between Chaos Rifts and Chaos Armor farming, we've broken up the monopoly that lair bosses had as our end-all be-all for endgame farming, meaning we're engaging with far more varied endgame activities, which keeps things much more fun. It's just a really good game state. We have a good game loop going on right now. The Sorcerer's Mana Shield Chaos perk has to come back as a unique or something in the future. It's just so quintessentially Sorcerer. Really, the only complaints that I see this season are Soul Spires are garbage, cosmetics are still offensively expensive, Reliquary is still a terrible experience, and the old Battle Pass was better. I mean, we didn't even get a Reliquary for the StarCraft event. I thought one of the reasons to add the Reliquary system was to be able to incorporate Reliquary events. As for Soul Spires, we got patch notes yesterday for a patch coming up on Tuesday. First off, the A Beast Cornered perk is going to be back with a slight change, but other than that, Soul Spires are having their range increased, and monsters will frequently ambush players inside. We'll see if that fixes things, because if it doesn't, Soul Spires are rapidly becoming the new conduit shrines of Season 10. The real problem with Soul Spires is having to wait for monsters to enter. If monsters would just be constantly spawning inside, then there'd be no problem. So depending on how frequently these monster ambushes happen, that may or may not fix things. Oh, and starting on Tuesday, there will also be a bonus Whisper Cache event. Then in some quick Borderlands 4 news, we got the first significant balance patch this week, and it's loaded with buffs. Buffs for everyone, but especially buffs for Amon. The devs want to bring him up in power to be competitive with the other
Melee
Vault
boy
Hunters,
buffs, huge.
as well as just generally promote greater build diversity among them all. Then also at the Tokyo Game Show, we got a teaser reveal of the first new Vault Hunter coming to Borderlands 4, Cash, a robot who gives off major cowboy/gunslinger vibes from the art we saw.
It's Clanker
Cash's
from
bio describes him as a
Megabonk.
former casino dealer bot, and his kit will involve a high element of chance, resulting in big risk-reward gameplay. Cash is one of the 2 new Vault Hunters coming in Mad Ellie and the Vault of the Damned, which will be the first paid story pack, slated for release in Q1 of 2026. The story pack will feature multiple main...
They're actually getting updates going for Borderlands already. Like, Borderlands, I feel like is like fun and a good game, but it's just, for some reason, it's really hard for me to get into the 4th one here. Like, maybe I'm just not like a big Borderlands guy, to be honest. Or maybe the ARPG brain rot got to me too much, but it was hard for me to get sucked into this one.
and side missions set in a new zone of Kairos, new gear to earn, new cosmetics, and more. Mad Ellie is the first of 2 planned paid story packs, but there will also be plenty of free content updates over time, including seasonal mini events. I wonder if Cash has any connection to Flack. What do you folks think? Then a big story this week, EA is going private. In a $55 billion deal, the second biggest gaming deal ever after Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard, EA is being bought by a trio of entities: Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, a government organization; 2, Silver Lake, an American private equity investment firm focused on tech; and 3, Affinity Partners, an American investment firm formed in 2021 by Donald Trump's son-in-law and former senior advisor Jared Kushner, which was funded overwhelmingly by the Saudi Arabian government. The deal is expected to close in Q1 of fiscal year 2027, assuming it passes regulatory inspection. Now, more than 70% of EA's revenue...
It's hard for me to care about EA at all because they just haven't been making anything I give a shit about. I'm struggling to think what's the last thing they actually made that I actually cared about.
Revenue comes from live service games. In particular, it's sports titles like EA Sports FC and Madden NFL, but also games like Apex Legends and The Sims 4. Now, given Saudi Arabia...
I don't play any of those. So I just, it's hard for me to care remotely because, I don't play these games. I've never been a sports guy, really. I feel like there's a whole section of people that only play sports games on consoles, and that's that is their genre. That is what they do. And there's probably some crossover with the console Call of Duty bros in there. But I don't I'm just not. The last time EA was making shit that I cared about, it was Star Wars games. They don't do that anymore. What we really need is a new Star Wars Battlefront, bro. Give me Battlefront 3. Goddamn.
Interest in sports and esports. I imagine their primary interest is in EA's sports titles. Now, prior to this acquisition, the Saudi PIF already owned...
Every time I go into one of those sports channels, all they're ever doing is, if I watch a FIFA channel, all they're doing is opening packs. It's okay, bro, I played me some Gacha games back in the day. I know what's going on here.
9.9% of EA. And since 2022, it had plans to invest a further $38 billion into the gaming industry by 2030 as part of a plan to make Saudi Arabia into a global gaming hub. The PIF also owns minority stakes in Capcom, Coffee Stain, Embracer Group, Nexon, Nintendo, Take-Two Interactive, THQ Nordic, and more. Now, EA says there will be no immediate changes to its workforce following the buyout, including to its executive team, and they also say that the company culture will remain unchanged. Also worthy of note, this acquisition is funded in cash, making it the largest all-cash sponsor take-private investment in history, but it's also a leveraged buyout.
Wait, in history,
and
really?
Therefore is coming with $20 million of debt. That debt is financed by JP Morgan Chase Bank, and that is debt that EA will need to repay. Yes, this is somehow a legal thing that can happen. 20 of the $55 million is being taken on as debt, and for some reason, EA is the one who has to pay back that debt. So who here thinks, show of hands, that a company taking on $20 million of debt will not undergo any kind of workforce change? Anyone? No? Certainly they aren't banking on replacing a ton of workers with AI to cut costs, right?
Oh my God, please don't make a bunch of AI slop dog shit. I mean, then again, a lot of games these days are kind of dog shit and they're not AI. It's just, I'm really not looking forward to, Steam is already hard enough to find a fucking game. I'll sit there and browse through games, and they're all good. I have a list of great games to play, and I'm having trouble even just finding a game to play because it's just what do I play? There's all these options. Now imagine the feeling when you're sitting there trying to figure out what game to play in Steam and your backlog and all that. Then it's just a list of 100 AI swap fucking dog shit auto-generated games. Please, for the love of God, no. Or imagine 100 years in the future, the games are being generated for you specifically. So you have an algorithm that determines what you like based upon what you clicked and looked at, and they're auto-making games only for you to buy off the store that's just populating. So you have this infinite TikTok scroll of just auto-generated games. Well, we made this game for you, DM. Old school RuneScape Path of Exile. We think you're going to love it. We took the best of PoE and the best of old school RuneScape and we put them together. and they're probably all going to be dog shit. I'm not looking forward to the targeted ad automatic game generation in the future. It's coming, dude. You'll see.
EA already laid off 1,000 workers over the past 2 years. In fiscal year 2025, EA generated $1.1 billion in profit. So, in 15 years, they'll only be a couple years away from paying off that debt. Assuming that in 5 years from now, the company isn't stripped down and sold for parts. Altogether, this does not bode well for Mass Effect 4, which, let's be frank, already wasn't boding well. And as for Insider Gaming, anonymous sources at BioWare are saying they expect job cuts once the acquisition goes through. Now, I'll very quickly mention that Path of Exile 2 has released patch 0.3.1. We spoke about this patch in last week's video. Check that out if you missed it. It's the one that has the huge endgame changes, like basically removing towers and letting you run maps without them, bosses now added to all maps, and maps reduced in size. I have not had a chance to try it out myself, but all these changes sound fantastic. For those of you who have tried them, please sound off in the comments with your impressions so far. Then another big story this week is the huge price hike to Microsoft Game Pass. The Ultimate subscription, which is the...
I feel like the whole selling point of Game Pass, I know he's going to get into this here, but I feel like to me, like the whole selling point of Game Pass is it seemed like a good value before. So when you start fucking with the price, it fucks with like the whole point of it, which is like it's kind of a good value buy. You get access to a lot of games. And the thing is the reason that I would like it is because I'm getting access to games that I was on the fence about before anyway. So it's like, I don't know if I'm going to play this game, but it's on Game Pass, and I spend the $15 a month or whatever to gamble that a game might pop up there that I wanted to try. And now it's like $30 a month, to gamble whether or not these games are going to show up you're actually interested in. So when you fuck with the value of it, which is the whole value proposition of it was actually the selling point. Yeah, it's not surprising to me people are pissed off.
Only way to access day one
I'm not going to pay double the price to get games I weren't going to buy anyway.
$30 per month. Even the PC Game Pass got a price jump from $12 to just under $17 per month. This announcement came just days after Xbox President Sarah Bond stated in an interview with Japanese website GameWatch, quote, "Last fiscal year, Xbox Game Pass sales reached a record high of $5 billion. It's a profitable business. And as more creators join Xbox Game Pass, payments to creators increase, so we think it's a good business for creators."
So since it's profitable and a good business and everybody's winning, let's ruin it. Because we here at Big Corporation decided we like those numbers and we're going to try to leverage them even higher. Fucking tell us all this time, dude.
So let me get this straight. Game Pass is a profitable business, so we're going to raise prices by 50% overnight. If Microsoft's goal was mass adoption of Game Pass, which I thought it was, then this price hike makes no sense to contributing towards this strategy. I guarantee that they are losing subscribers over this. Whether they lose enough to actually make less money, I don't know. But when their main goal was allegedly to reach 100 million subscribers to become the Netflix of gaming, then squeezing more money out of less people feels like Microsoft is just giving up and now is just trying to milk Game Pass for whatever it's worth before shutting the whole thing down.
It really feels like a guy over there was like, hey, these numbers are big. I want to make them bigger. It's just like, all right, dude.
And I mean the whole thing. Already it was looking like Xbox was aiming to eventually get out of the hardware business and focus on the more profitable Game Pass and software sales. They had moved away from a strategy of exclusives, so people have no reason to buy an Xbox when they can just play Microsoft games on PC or on PS5. And
yes. And honestly, it's just subscriptions in general. Like, how many fucking subscriptions are we all going to have? We're going to have Netflix, Amazon Prime. You're going to have your Twitch Turbo subscription, your YouTube Premium. Then you got to have if you want to play your game on Nintendo, you got to have your Nintendo Online subscription, your PlayStation Pro, now your Game Pass. Like, dude, you have too many. Hulu, HBO, Disney, if you're even doing the Disney thing anymore. Then I have fucking Paramount because there's one show on Paramount I want to watch. You know what I'm sick of? Is there's a show that I can only watch on one specific platform, so I have to buy their dog shit subscription just to watch the show. What I've been trying to do is I find if that show is available to be purchased, instead I just fucking buy it. Because it's like, I'm sick of signing up for subscriptions. I'd almost rather go back to buying DVDs. Like for real, dude. It's not even that. It's not even about the money. It's like I'm sick of having 30 subscriptions to fucking everything, and then I wake up a month later and I forget I even have this subscription, and I get the stupid PayPal notification on my phone. You paid $9.99 to Paramount. Ah, fuck! I forgot to cancel that shit 2 months ago. Like that's the part that pisses me off. I don't care about the $10. I care about, I fucking forget about it and have to sign up to a million things and have a million different accounts with all these different passwords. So if one of these dog shit companies with their dog shit privacy security doesn't accidentally dox my password, that everything in the planet gets hacked. It's so annoying, dude.
Now with Game Pass no longer being a good deal at $30 a month to play a new game, basically half the price of a AAA game, what is Xbox really offering anymore? We're reaching a price point where you can just wait a few months for a game to go on sale and then you can get it for cheaper than a Game Pass subscription. I mean, sure, some gamers will blast through multiple games in a month, meaning $30 a month is still a great deal for them, but I would hazard a guess that most gamers don't have the kind of free time to get through multiple games a month and may not even finish one game in a month. So if it's costing you 2 months worth of Game Pass subscription to finish a new game, at that point you might as well just buy the game and own it and not feel pressured to have to finish it to get your money's worth.
Or God forbid you own a physical product ever again. And then you, I don't know, could sell it on Craigslist if that still exists, or Facebook Marketplace, because it's yours and you actually have something, as opposed to, okay, I've permanently leased a game on my account that I can just log into. Like can I actually own something?
Along to things, Xbox has removed Game Pass discounts on Call of Duty add-ons, further removing value from Game Pass. Had Microsoft raised the price by $5, they could have maybe gone away with that. $20 to $25, people would have been pissed, but a 25% price increase is a much easier pill to swallow than a 50% price increase. The real fiendish strategy would have been to raise the price slowly multiple times, $2.50 per year for the next few years. But a sudden $10 jump, I don't...
It's the disrespect, bro. It's like most people, if you can afford $15 a month for a substitutional entertainment system to only really get access to games you probably weren't going to buy anyway, I bet you got $30 a month, okay? You probably have that extra 15. But the disrespect of saying, like, you know what? We think you're getting a good deal. I don't like that. Like that, of course people are going to cancel. The company is showing their hand by being like, oh, we actually don't value you.
I don't know what they were thinking. I really wish I can see how many subs they're going to lose. It's so mind-boggling that it feels like a move of desperation. A sustainable business model would not suddenly jack up its prices by 50%. Xbox spent $70 billion on Activision Blizzard, and now it's like they have to show profit increases to justify this. I don't think this is greed on Xbox's part. I think this is just about survival at this point. This is a Hail Mary play before drastic action is taken. More drastic than the countless layoffs we've had and studio closures. Drastic action like selling off profitable assets or even dissolving the Xbox brand entirely. But who knows? What do you folks think is going on here? Is this just run-of-the-mill greed, or is Xbox in trouble? Sound off in the comments. Then in some Last Epoch news, as a reminder, we had last week the surprise reveal of an upcoming expansion, Orobis.
Yeah, it was
along with a PS5 announcement. Yes, Last Epoch coming to console. But because we had no further details, and only silence from the team in the face of community questions, lots of concerns were raised. Well, this week, EHG's Judd Kobler finally spoke out. In his message, he said, among other things, quote, "Currently, we're working on a seasonal to expansion roadmap to share with you all shortly. To clarify, Last Epoch Orobis is not Season 4. There will be multiple seasonal releases before Last Epoch comes to PlayStation 5 with the Orobis launch. I want to reiterate that long-term, our partnership with Krafton will be hugely strengthening for the studio and the content that we're able to create. It ensures a growing future for Last Epoch, which, being transparent, was at risk before. Our goal has always been to create the leading loot-based ARPG, and partnering with Krafton has given us a clear path to accomplish our ambitious goals. As a team of ARPG fanatics, we understand what makes a great ARPG and the amount of resources it'll take to create a game that you are excited to have as your main source of entertainment. We know the burning question is, will the expansion have any cost associated with it? To set expectations, the answer is maybe. We weren't profitable with Season 1, 2, or 3 after our 1.0 launch. Even Season 2, with its very successful reception and high turnout, was not profitable due to longer development time and costs. While a partner with more funding adds a massive amount of stability, a studio still needs to operate with some amount of profitability, or inevitably it dies.
It's surprising.
Years ago, when we were a significantly smaller team formed on Reddit, our goal was to not charge for any content, but our cosmetic sales have not been enough to cover our own development costs over the long term. Our studio has grown significantly, and we pay livable wages to our team members. In true ARPG fashion, our costs have increased. Insert power creep joke here. That being said, we are still modeling how the expansion will be monetized exactly, but when a decision is made, we will share it with you right away. See, this is the Judd I know. This degree of transparency, honesty, and communication with the community is part of what built up all the goodwill that EHG has amassed over the years. And what he said makes perfect sense. The reality is that it costs a lot of money to run a live service ARPG that is trying to compete with the biggest names in this space. And EHG was well-intentioned when they wanted to go with a business model that would be cosmetic only and have all content be free forever. If they do end up having to charge for the expansion, it's not out of greed. It's because they've realized that a cosmetic-only model is not sustainable for the kind of ambition they have. Now, before anyone points to Path of Exile and says, hey, well, how come they can do it? Path of Exile is a game that is free to try. Any serious PoE player will tell you that you have to spend money on stash tabs if you want to play PoE seriously. Whether GGG did this intentionally or lucked into it, they developed...
I mean, I don't think they lucked into it. I definitely, if you're going to play it seriously, you need to buy some stash tabs. Like, I would say it's intentional. Definitely, if you're going to play long-term, you're going to want some stash tabs. I do think saying free to try is not fair to the game. It is a free-to-play game. It is 100% free to play. If you want to play long-term, then you can get some necessities for sure for it.
Developed a live service model that pairs exceptionally well with their monetization model. They release new content in the game that results in players demanding new stash tabs to accommodate the specific new items that the new content drops. The devs then develop and sell those stash tabs. Some people would put this as they create a problem and they sell you the solution to the problem. I don't think it's malintent like that, but this is the outcome we've seen. It is not cosmetics alone that is keeping PoE profitable. It's the quality of life functionality of stash tabs that we consider a fair price to pay periodically, almost like a subscription fee or a battle pass. We get so much value out of playing Path of Exile that it's okay to spend, $20 every so often.
Plus, when you buy stash tabs, you kind of feel like you're like adding on things that are like a mega convenience. Like, you'll buy a new stash and then you get the affinities within. You can just click and move things in there, and they feel like smaller prices. You end up paying way more in the long run. Like, I spent more in PoE than I spent on any ARPG for sure. So, I mean, they're definitely getting more money out of you. But you kind of feel like you're buying something that feels like it's worth the money you spend. Instead of just like, can I get another cosmetic, And you don't feel like you're buying it to like support the game. You feel like you're actually buying something, and you definitely feel the difference in it. So I mean, they're gonna get a lot of sales of stash tabs for those reasons.
For continued quality of life. When I saw that last Epoch was going for a cosmetics only,
and it's true because like when they come out with a new stash tab for something, then people are like, oh, thank God. Like imagine, a game comes out with like a microtransaction, people are like, thank fuck, I gotta buy this. Like, that's when people actually really like are fine with the price point of it. Like, for sure.
Model, I knew that would not be sustainable in the long term for them. It was an admirable goal, and It's why I know these devs are not greedy. But running a live service ARPG that is trying to compete on a AAA level is very expensive. Now, I always thought the play was release the game, you're going to make a lot of money on launch, and then right away you use that money to build Last Epoch 2. Bigger, better, at a higher AAA level tier.
It's a slippery slope if they create problems to sell you solutions. Completely agree with that. And I think that they do a pretty good job of riding that line, and people believe it's like, you know, they're ethical with it. If people didn't believe they weren't, you know, if like remember in Necropolis League? Necropolis League was like super annoying. Like imagine if when people started complaining, then what they did is they sold a Necropolis Corpse tab for that league. Like, you know, you basically needed quad tabs, but like quad tabs are for anything. So I feel like they've been like decently ethical with it. But yeah, no, I agree with the slippery slope.
But they already had made promises to the community about Last Epoch 1 and rolling out seasonal content after seasonal content. And they have continued to fulfill those promises despite a lack of profitability over the past year and a half. More, year and 3/4. At this point, it is unfair for us to hold them to their promises. Yes, we back them on Kickstarter under certain pretenses, and they have made a good faith effort to fulfill everything that they've said. But at some point, we got to accept that if we want this game to go on and not be abandoned, they have to make money. They have to make profit. They got to pay their employees. And if that means selling an expansion every couple of years, I think that's perfectly acceptable. I'm willing to pay for good content. Then in some quick Titan Quest 2 news, Chapter 2 has released and is available to play now. It brings new skills to all masteries, it brings new enemies, 3 new bosses, and more. I haven't had a chance to play it yet myself, but I'm hearing people say,
I want to try this, actually. I want to play the new Titan Quest 2. There's a couple reasons. One is, like, I really liked Titan Quest 2 when I played through. You guys remember me doing my playthrough, and I was like, wow, I really, like, I was surprised how much I actually really liked Titan Quest. I did multiple builds going through the same act, and it was definitely not a lot to do in the beginning. You could speed run through that campaign pretty quickly, but I 100% of it, did everything, multiple builds. Really enjoyed Titan Quest 2. So obviously we're going to play it. But also what's kind of cool about this is, I talked about this previously, where Titan Quest 2 was talking about wanting to do like a long-term partnership. And I was kind of like, well, you know, I'm always kind of careful with doing long-term sponsored partnerships with ARPGs in particular. I've been sponsored by literally all of them: Diablo, Last Epoch, PoE, and now it's going to be Titan Quest as well. But I did a couple caveats, which is like, I need to be able to say whatever I want, and I need to be able to make the videos about whatever I want. And I also am having the videos go on the second channel. So there's going to be content going on the second channel related to Titan Quest 2 as well. And that was kind of the nice solution that we came up with that. So I'm going to be doing like a 6-month partnership with Titan Quest 2, inputting like 1 video a month. It's not a ton. We're not going to be releasing like, you know, a dozen videos a month or something. It's just 1 video a month. And you know, like state of the game and how I feel about it, stuff like that. You know, playthrough type stuff. Anything that's not really a let's play will be going on the second channel as well. I remember really enjoying the original Titan Quest. Yeah, I didn't play a ton of the original Titan Quest. I did 1 playthrough of the base game. But I actually really like Titan Quest 2, so I'm glad that we played it, you know, beforehand, before doing any sponsored stuff or anything, because that way when they offer, it's like, yeah, I know I really like this game, which would be nice. When are you going to play the TQ2 update? Probably this coming week. I would think pretty soon. There's a second channel. Yeah, the Darth microtransaction one, not the TV one. So we'll be playing that for sure.
That the content is good, but that overall Chapter 2 feels more like an extension of Chapter 1 than an entirely new chapter unto.
Says playing Moonbeast. Do you have an update on that? No update. They wanted to do a Tavern Talk podcast. We declined to do a Tavern Talk podcast at the moment, as we didn't really feel like there was a whole lot really to talk about at the moment. And we just kind of doing one for the sake of doing one. So we're going to wait a bit until we have things that we're interested in talking about related to that. But I tried out the game, thought it seemed like all right. I'm kind of waiting to see, you know, as it continues to develop, because it's very, very early. So when it's later on in the development process, we'll take another look at Moonbeast and probably do a Tavern Talk at that point.
To itself. Have any of you folks played it yet? Sound off in the comments with your thoughts. And if you folks haven't seen it yet, check out my early review of Titan Quest 2. Then lastly, in some quick Hellclock news, the ARPG roguelite got its biggest update yet, introducing crafting to the game. I can't wait to have a chance to try it out. I really find Hellclock fun. The new crafting systems lets you re-roll unwanted mods, upgrade relics from common to magic and magic to rare. You can even slam your relic to randomize its stats and more. If you're not familiar with Hellclock, you can check out my video over here.
This was quite an
wrap
update.
Up this video, but do be sure to check out last week's video in which we go over the awesome
Hellclock was pretty good
that have come to PoE 2. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my Patreon supporters for making these videos possible. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to join Riker's Raiders for more.
Riker always has good recap videos. There you go. Give him a like. Yeah, right. The state of ARPGs is kind of an interesting spot. A couple talking points with a few of these, but I feel like ARPGs are only ever really getting better right now. Like PoE 1, PoE 2, last Epoch got acquired, so it's kind of curious to see what's going to happen there. D4 is finally trying some sort of unique stuff, though I'm not sure when I'm going to log back into it. Titan Quest 2 is starting to release like the next acts, etc. Definitely the year of the ARPG, no doubt about it. Obviously I have my favorites, but definitely the year of the ARPG. Not the year of Xbox, though.